Hey you guys, it is TsubakiSwagg and I'm coming to you with my review of Magi, the Kingdom of Magic, episode 15, The Magician's Country. Okay, so this episode was pretty true to the manga. If I do say so myself, I didn't see anything out of the ordinary that happened. But of course, it picks up where the last one left off at, where Titus and Sphinx and Aladdin were saving Marga from being thrown into the hole. So they saved her and they brought her back out. And of course, all these things happen, like the magicians tried to, well, the higher up magicians tried to attack Titus, because Titus was pretty much out of order for even being down there, because they weren't supposed to be down there anyway. They weren't even supposed to know where it was. So Titus got attacked and he almost got killed, and Sphinx saved him with his medical magic. And pretty much, long story short, the higher up magicians tried, well, some of the higher up magicians tried to throw the Goys into the hole, and Aladdin saved them with his not teleportation, but his levitation magic. And then Mrs. Myers, Aladdin's teacher, came and pretty much saved their behinds. And she told them that she was going to be lenient on him as long as he put his cane down, and she was pretty sure that Magusto, I want to say the Spanish pronunciation, but I know it's Japanese, don't judge my life. She said that Chancellor was probably going to be more lenient on him too, because they are such exceptional magicians. So Aladdin went to trial, and Chancellor pretty much asked him, he was like, are you aware that you weren't supposed to be in the 5th level district? And he was like, yes, I'm aware of that. And he's like, yes, I did infiltrate it. And pretty much the Chancellor told everybody, like all the people that were watching, that even though they are truly good kids good magicians who do follow the rules, they need to forgive Aladdin, because he doesn't understand why things are the way they are, pretty much. And in that, the Chancellor pretty much asked Aladdin if he would eat dinner with him, and Aladdin was like, okay, sure. So while they were eating, the Chancellor asked Aladdin about Yam, and of course Aladdin went on the defensive, and the Chancellor was like, no, don't do that, because for a few years I was like her father figure, because of course her parents cast her away because they found out she was a magician, so she was pretty much all by herself. And if it hadn't been for the Chancellor taking care of her, she probably would have been on the path to destruction. So he pretty much was like her father, and he would read her stories before she went to sleep, and he was pretty much like her guardian. And the Chancellor asked Aladdin if she was happy, and if she was doing the things that she wanted to do, pretty much. And Aladdin assured him that yes, she's happy, that he knows of. And he was like, well, I'm glad about that. So in that, the Chancellor asked Aladdin if he would come to the big lecture the next day, and then Aladdin would better understand why the 5th district is the way it is, and why the country is the way it is. So they went to the lecture the next day, and pretty much the Chancellor explained to them how 70 years ago, when he was probably in his mid-20s and he had a daughter and a wife, that magicians weren't highly thought of. They were more considered like servants, and they would serve the royal families that in the city in which they live. And the city in which they live was Mustachio. And in that city, it pretty much showed his backstory, of him with his daughter, and that his wife was pretty much killed because she used all of her Magi up until she died to help the royal family, of course. And his daughter pretty much told him, when he was about to leave to go help, she told him not to push himself too hard so he won't go away like her mother did. And that really touched my heart. That made me sad. But they pretty much show, he shows all the bad things that happen to the magicians and them working towards learning more about magic and Magoi and how to better use it so that way they don't use up all their Magoi and die like a lot of them did because they didn't understand magic at the time. And in that, it also showed like how the royal family mostly just used the magicians for their own gain, like in gaining territories and winning wars and stuff like that. And Chancellor was angered by this, and this is why he pretty much considered the Goe as cattle, because that's how they acted. Because the people in the 5th district, they didn't even want to leave. They were more concerned about having sex and drinking wine and doing nothingness. And he said that this is a trait of cattle, like not wanting to do anything and really not even having them take care of themselves. The magicians are the ones who take care of them while they, in return, give up their Magoi until they die. And of course Aladdin doesn't agree with this, and neither does Titus or Sphinxes, but Titus was the one who stood up for them, stood up for the 5th level district. And while Titus and Sphinxes were being healed prior to, Titus pretty much convinced them to let Titus, Sphinxes, and Aladdin go to the 5th district as they please so he could see Marga. But the Chancellor, I understand why he is so angry, but the way he goes about things I personally don't like. And I understand that he was upset because his wife was killed, and pretty much his daughter was killed on the front lines trying to protect the people that he said that they should. So it is understandable why he is angry and doesn't like people, non-magicians, but that is just a little too much for me. That was pretty much the end of the episode. It was pretty awesome to watch. It was very informative, and I love Magi. Magi is probably one of my favorite animes so far this year. But anyways, for those of you who don't read the manga, I would love to hear what y'all think is going to happen next. But if not, please, please, please remember to comment, rate, and subscribe. And as always, this is TsubakiSwagg saying adios. But anyways, so that was pretty much